Hey guys. So, first off, it's really crazy how much lighting affects the way you look. Um, it's just like switching the angle is like crazy. And, you know, it's just so messed up about how people have to present themselves in such a perfect way all the time. I mean, we're inundated with these really high, intensely corporate messages. And, honestly, that affects us. Like, that affects our perception of like a quality service or a quality person or whatnot. It really should just be a lot more simple. And so I'm actually letting you guys know that I'm starting my business. Now, I mean, starting it up, like for sure. Let me tell you honestly, I wasn't really in a place where I felt like I was always worthy of being a life coach or um, being someone who wanted to attract clients. Now, I'm not telling you this to beat myself up. I'm just telling you this because I know many of you guys could relate. To be authentic is the number one thing we need to do on social media. It's always good to be positive, like 9 times out of 10, and to think about the end and, to believe in the law of attraction because that is very, very real, guys. But, sometimes when you're presenting yourself, sometimes it feels like it's better to fake it alone than to fake it around other people sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's better to be positive, like in your own mind, and then authentic with other people. That's what I'm finding because, you know, I have a lot of good information about self love, energy techniques, healing, diet, and you know what? I haven't always taken it. I've treated myself pretty crummy and in a very disparaging way sometimes. Really out of fear of success, fear of not even failing, because in a way I am failing. Just I'm more afraid to succeed and to show my light. But that's kind of the way the world. That's why the world is in such a crappy place. That's why honestly, like a lot of our institutions are failing. A lot of our institutions are crap. Um, not they're not crap, but they're degrading because people aren't stepping up. And what I feel very isolated and alone sometimes in American society. I feel like this is not my place. I don't like the hustle. I don't like the I like deep dives. I don't like quick little bullshit. I do like to bullshit with people, honestly, on the street and stuff. But I also like deep dives with people, and that's why I like these YouTube videos because honestly, they make you feel a lot less alone. So I guess the point is, I make these rough videos because part of me, honestly, like maybe he's lazy and doesn't want to be bothered to like create this like high, intense corporate, perfect lighting, perfect this, blah, 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 But honestly, I also want to be authentic because you know what? Like when you're in your 30s, you have lines. You know what I mean? Like in your eyes. And you know what? Like if I had a few extra $1,000, I would probably go and get my teeth whitened. They're not great. If they're straight, thank God. But I'm just saying it's good to be authentic. Now, it's not always good to observe reality the way it is because you really got to think about the future and be grateful for what you do have, and you got to think about how you want things to go. But occasionally, like again, 10% of the time, you really need to be around, you really need to just vent off that this is how I am. Because a lot of people do say really encouraging, kind words, how happy they are and things are going great, but they don't feel that way. Do you know what I mean? So, like, they're faking it maybe like 10% of the time to the wrong people. Like, they're trying to act as if to the wrong person. But then when they like say it's like, oh, I'm doing great, I'm so successful, I'm so happy, things are wonderful, blah blah blah. But then it's like when that interaction's gone, they're like back to beating themselves up. Versus go to someone authentically and say, you know what, I'm struggling. Like I have like, a couple of like these little addictions that I'm working on. I'm working on like self-love. It's really hard. It's tough. Like, and these are what I want to, this is what I like to see happen. And it's not quite happening yet. And it's frustrating and I'm scared. So that's better to do with a one-on-one with someone. And then alone, when you're alone, you say, oh man, I'm so grateful, I'm such a success. When you're alone, you ramp up the positive. When you're alone, you go into your own world of like how everything is amazing. But when you have friends, like you try to be, you give that 10% of like the realism to them. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because it gets a lot of self, like, kind of releases some steam, I think, and is a way to genuinely connect with them. And they know that, they can tell that you're not there yet. So if you have a bunch of like sappy, feel good words, they're going to be like, this dude is like freaking lying to me. And it's going to be, it's not going to feel right for them. It's not like your friendship isn't going to be authentic. So again, I admit, like, actually, like, I have some work to do. Like, just I'm being consistent. But the advice I do have and the insight I have into humanity, into people, into diet, fasting, healing, energetic work, man, like, I am honestly, like, I am knowledgeable. Like, I know what I am talking about. Absolutely. So if you are looking for someone to discuss where your struggles are, where you need to improve, and you're looking for some really good resources and someone to hold your ass accountable, man, honestly, I really believe that I am your guy. I am the guy to make that happen, and someone who is a dream encourager. There's no dream that you have that I will shit on. Like, there's no way that I will say that it's impossible because you can have anything. We are creators here on Earth. But there are some shortcuts and there are some long cuts. I mean, suffering, sometimes, I'm not saying it's not always necessary, but usually it's helpful. But there are ways to, like, there's tricks to avoid a lot of suffering, and I know them. So I really want you to go to yardale.com, set up an appointment with me, or you could just email me directly. But if you go to yardale.com, that is my business, man. Like, that is what I am about here. Like, you could also go to I actually have another site that's the same, really. It's called the State of Wellness. I was kind of debating between the two names. So, I kind of like both, to be honest. But hit me up and I will help you out. Okay, guys? So, again, yardale.com, and I will be your number one fan, your cheerleader. We got to do this, okay? You're not alone. Talk to you soon. Bye.